So I'll be honest, part of the reason that I started this channel back up again was to force myself to get out and do more things. Right now I record videos for my main channel, basically all in my office. But to get out and do more things, I've got to get comfortable with filming myself in public, and the thought of that makes me very uncomfortable. So what I thought I'd do as I live in Galway is basically come into Galway city, maybe walk around a little bit, show you some of the sights and stuff like that, and see just how far I can get filming myself in public. Right now, I'm in my car in a car park that's not, it's quite busy, but most people that use it are at work, so there's not a huge amount of people walking around. Someone has just pulled up alongside me here, but because I'm in the safety of the car, it doesn't feel quite so weird. But as soon as I start stepping outside, it's like a whole different ball game, because anyone could be around, anyone could hear you, and it's just like, I don't know if scary is the word, but it just doesn't feel right. It's not something that I'm massively used to. By the way, just on a side note, this is, and this goes to show you how dull I am, this is my absolute favourite car park in Galway, because it's close enough that you can just walk into town in 5 minutes, or less actually, it's like 2 minutes, but you don't have to go through all the traffic. So if you ever wondered how dull I am, I've got a favourite car park in Galway. Shout out to the Dyke Road. So I've basically come to sit on the bridge near the cathedral, where it is pretty busy. There's a lot of people walking past, but there's not a huge amount of people sat next to me. Ultimately, it's just a Thursday in January, so there's not a huge amount of tourists and stuff here. Sunglasses on because it's quite bright and I keep squinting into the camera. I know I look like an idiot because it's only January. It's also quite windy, so hopefully everything sounds okay. I've had to put this stupid thing on my mic, so it makes it even more obvious I'm recording. All I can tell you doing this, what's running through my mind is every single person that's walking past, I'm thinking they're wondering what the hell I'm doing, and I probably look like an absolute idiot. But I guess when I think about it a bit more, it's a bit like going to the gym for the first time, right? You go there, you think everyone's looking at you, everyone's thinking you don't know what you're doing, but realistically, no one cares. They're all just there to do their own thing. They don't care about what you're doing. And I think for the most part, that's probably 90, 95, 99% true for everyone that's walking past. They've got their own things to do, and why would they worry about what an idiot like I am doing? That didn't sound very right. The other thing I'm very conscious about is nailing everything first time, because I do often do a few things in like separate takes. So I try and record it all in one go, but if I mess up, I restart. And I know if I mess up, I've then got to do this again, sat in this exact same spot. Anyway, let me show, I don't want to walk into it, and let me show you what the river looks like. Very nice place to walk. If I ever come into town just to get some steps in and do a walk, I always walk this way because it's really nice, apart from when it's raining, when it usually is. And then you've got the cathedral there, which I don't think I've ever been in. Anyway, I can spin the camera around like that. Hopefully it's not too jarring to watch. I might have already said that at some point during this video. I also find that once you're in the motion of recording, it doesn't feel so weird. Because I've started and I'm in mid-flow of chatting rubbish, I don't feel so anxious about what's behind me. Once I stop and go into a new spot, I'm sure it'll feel a little bit different. Anyway, let's see how far we get. So whenever I do this walk, I always come, oh look, there's a, I don't know if I caught that at all. It was like a seagull or something. I always walk this way because you're basically missing the hustle and bustle of everyone going through town. You're coming around the outside basically and coming into town from a different location. So I always go this way. I don't really have any intentions of making this a vlog channel, like about my daily life, because as I said before, there's not really a whole lot that goes on. Not enough to make videos every day anyway. I'd rather go and do like I'm doing this today and then film that, I guess, is my intention. But what I always wonder about is, how do people find stuff to talk about every day on vlogs, or just every week? Like, I'm walking around here and the only thing I've got to talk about is how do people find stuff to talk about. Like, I don't know, I just find it like a really weird experience. But again, I guess doing stuff more and more makes you better at it, and as you walk around, you probably have more ideas. Anyway, we're going to get a bit further into town and see if I'm brave enough to film on Shop Street, because that is always busy. Or Quay Street, I guess it is. All the bars and stuff are. So this is a cool part of town that I really like, because basically you've come down the canal and you've finished that part, and then you're basically down to, I want to say Dominic Street. I was nervous filming here as I am saying place names in Galway, because I've lived here 12 years and I really should know the name. But anyway, you come off past the canal, and obviously you're down to the last bit here before it goes into, starts going out to the sea, and basically you come out to Galway Bay. And it's just a really nice place to walk and a really nice place to live, and that is why anytime someone says to me, you know, you're thinking about going back to England, well, we always think about it, possibly moving back at some point, but no intentions to. And part of the reason why is because I just love Galway. I probably don't come into Galway as much as I should, but it's just a really nice place to live. Like, if you want to go and get something to eat, go out for a drink, come for a nice walk, go out to the bay, go to Salt Hill, which we're not going to go to today because, quite frankly, I can't bother to walk out there, and the car is probably 20 minutes away at this point. Yeah, it's just a really nice place to visit. So overall, I don't think that was that bad, but I have also come into the city at a time when it's not that busy. If I did this again in like June, July, August, it'd be a totally different experience. Also, I'm not sure I'm completely comfortable walking down the main street doing this, and I think it would become even weirder if I set up a tripod or something like that to try and keep the shot like super steady. Right now I'm just hand holding, which I think is fine for something like this. But I think once you set up a tripod, it just brings even more attention to you. The one thing I don't think I've really got in me is to just walk into somewhere and record. Partly because I'm an overthinker, so I'll be thinking, okay, am I allowed to record in here? Am I going to get in trouble for doing that? Like, I'm not someone that seeks out uncomfortable situations or conflict, so I'd almost rather call the place before I go in, and then just check I'm allowed to record rather than just walk in to record. But I might try it. Let me see if I can walk into Bujo. I'm going to take this thing off my mic so it's less obvious that I've got a mic on. I'm going to actively try and not record people. But maybe I'll just walk in with this on and see how it goes. Hi, can I get a burrito bowl, please? Yeah. Lime rice, please. Pinto, please. It's chicken. Thanks. Just chicken, yeah. Thank you. How are you? Can I get a salsa, please? Mild. Yeah. And a little bit of sweet corn. Lettuce and cheese, please. That's it, thanks. That was honestly one of the worst experiences of my life. Like, as soon as I got through the door, there was a huge queue, and I was so anxious that everybody would be looking at my camera, even though they didn't even know I was carrying the thing. Like, I'm not even sure I'm going to show any of that footage I just recorded because I was so conscious that someone would see it and think I was trying to record them, even to the point where I held my phone over the screen so that people couldn't see it on. There's a little blue light on my mic. I thought they're definitely going to see that blue light. They're going to know I'm recording. What are they going to think? Anyway, I'm not sure it's worth it. This feels okay because I'm up in the corner and no one can really see me, but I'm definitely not going to show you seeing me eat because there's nothing worse than hearing someone eat. So I'm going to enjoy this and finish the video in a bit. Got over 10,000 steps in, so I'm happy about that. I'm not sure exactly how many, but we're over 10k, so I'll take that. Going to drive home, chill out for the rest of the day, probably get this edited and uploaded as well. In terms of lessons learned, maybe filming outside, especially when you're used to talking to camera, is not that bad, especially when you're out in public. I'm not sure I could get that comfortable too quickly with recording somewhere, especially when I'm actively like holding the camera around, filming the inside of a place that I haven't asked if I can film. So I don't know if that's something that I'll be looking to do. And look, I'm not necessarily looking to vlog on this channel anyway. I'm not quite sure what the direction is going to take, but at least I know if I do need to go somewhere, I'm happy enough to kind of talk outside. And this is kind of normal in a way now, right? We're in 2025, people filming for YouTube, Instagram. You might not like it, right? I completely get that, but it is quite normal. Maybe not for the person doing it, but in terms of seeing other people do it. And it's not really that much different to like tourists that go somewhere and film, take pictures, video call outside of a landmark or something like that. So I'm sure some people will disagree with that, and that's fair enough. Like, we don't all want to be recorded day to day by someone else. But it was not as bad as I thought. And I guess if we can in life, we should probably put ourselves into more uncomfortable positions, even though that is something I actively try and avoid generally. Anyway, there'll be another video soon. I'll catch you then.